Hello horror fans and welcome back to the scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. 2 parts compendium and 1 part Necronomicon, and your go-to guide for all things horrific and horrifying. What's going on guys? As per usual, I'll be your horror host Jack Finch as we once again dive back into the terrifying world of horror cinema as we find ourselves aghast at those silver screen depictions that are just a little too close to the bone and take a look at the top 5 scary horror movies that were found footage. Roll the clip.
I'm scared to close my eyes. I'm scared to open them.
Now, found footage horror, for me anyway, is a subgenre that's either hit or miss in the world of horror cinema. On the one hand, it's an entirely captivating form and an unparalleled way to bring an audience into the visceral realm of point of view horror. When it's done well, we feel every agonizing step, every panicked breath, and every gut-wrenching reveal. But when it's done badly, it's really bad. Now, there are a few films that I'd still recommend that didn't make this list, but not because they're necessarily good, just because they're an experience, to say the least. August Underground, which is just messed up, Cannibal Holocaust, even more messed up, and Mark Duplass's Creep and Creep 2, to name a few. But let's get to the ones that are truly terrifying displays of found footage horror, shall we? Before we do that though guys, you know the drill by now. If you're a fan of this video, found footage horror cinema, or just top 5 scary videos in general, then please be a dear and hit that thumbs up button, as well as that subscribe bell so you can stay up to date with your daily dose of horror. Also, a huge thank you to all of our latest and greatest subscribers. We read every one of your comments, so stick around till the end and I just might read some of my favourites. Kicking off at number 5, the McPherson tape, 1998.
Kurt, they're on the roof. Kurt, what are we gonna do, man? They're on the roof.
Oh, close the flue.
Also known as Alien Abduction Incident in Lake County, the McPherson tape is an incredible display of science fiction horror done well, in a time when the found footage subgenre was just finding its feet. I'll be honest with you guys, when I first saw the McPherson tape as a kid, when it was broadcast as a straight-to-TV film, I thought it was actually real. And I wasn't alone either, because when it originally aired on UPN on January 18th, 1998, hundreds of people called in to verify that it wasn't actually portraying real-life events. So much so that the Lake County Sheriff's Department had to release a statement reassuring viewers that the events didn't take place. The McPherson tape centers around a family of the same name who have gathered together for Thanksgiving at their lake house when things quickly and mysteriously go wrong. As usual, I don't want to spoil any plot points for this film because it's definitely worth a watch, but if you're terrified of the thought of little green men roaming around your house at night, then you'll definitely be a fan of this film. Coming in at number 4, The House is October Built, 2014. And yeah, this film is great fun and so damn creepy for the most part. Directed by Bobby Rowe alongside hit producer Steven Schneider, the man behind the original Paranormal Activity, Insidious and The Devil Inside, The House is October Built is a fantastic spin on the found footage genre and features some genuinely terrifying set pieces throughout. It gives you that weird sense of dread that the subgenre tries so wholeheartedly to capture, but this film does it to perfection in parts. The House is October Built focuses on a group of friends, all horror fans may I add, travelling throughout southern USA in the lead up to Halloween. They've got an obsession with live action haunted house attractions, and the film plays out as a kind of mini road trip, ramping up the fake scares as it plays out. But, well, the fake scares quickly turn into real scares, and the second half of the movie really manages to turn up the heat. The strength of this film is how personal it feels. There's no wider scope other than the events that unfold before us, and it's backed up by a genuinely believable cast and likeable characters, which makes the ending that much more bleak. Give it a watch. Next up at number 3, Noroi, The Curse, 2005. Now, this is for sure an interesting film, to say the least, and it's a welcome sore thumb in the world of Japanese horror. It comes from renowned director Koji Shiraishi, who's made quite the name for himself as a found footage auteur, with films like Occult and Shirome, a departure from the short, unsettling style often found in J-horror. Noroi is perhaps the best example of his work, and it stands out as a slow-burning mockumentary of paranormal investigation in Japan. Noroi features an absolutely mammoth task, interweaving several storylines storylines that lead up to a deeply disturbing ending. For the most part though, it focuses on Masafumi Kobayashi, a paranormal expert famous for uncovering supernatural mysteries, and his investigation of a strange woman and her young son. It manages to give us just enough to keep the mystery going, and I don't say this lightly, pretty much every scene is unsettling as we quickly realise that there are much more malevolent powers at play. Swinging in at number 2, The Blair Witch Project, 1999.
I'm coming. My boots aren't laced.
And you just knew this one would make this list, didn't you? Of course, perhaps the most famous found footage horror film of all time, and many people's first horrific dive into the subgenre. The Blair Witch Project is an awesome horror film, I'm gonna say it, and the impact that it had on the genre as a whole can't be denied. The reason that the Blair Witch Project is so damn good is because it managed to pull off exactly what terrifies us, a stark reminder that what really scares us is the stuff that we can't see, especially in a time when horror cinema was trying its hardest to deliver full frontal fear. Again, like with the McPherson tape, the Blair Witch Project relied heavily on viral marketing. Even a year after its release, the 3 actors, Heather Donahue, Joshua Leonard and Michael C. Williams, were listed on their IMDb pages as missing or deceased. The film's creators, Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez, made huge strides in creating a working mythology for the film, drawing on 18th century folk legends to fabricate their own occultist backdrop, hinting to the viewer that perhaps there was some truth to the events of the film. In essence, it's what makes found footage horror so good when it's done well, an uneasy mix between horror fiction and horror fact. And finally, at our number 1 spot, The Borderlands, 2013. Also known as Final Prayer in the US, but come on, the original title is so much better. The Borderlands is a 2013 British horror film written and directed by Elliot Goldner in his directorial debut. I'm going to say it, this film is awesome for many reasons, but the main reason is that it answers a question that somewhat mires the believability of found footage horror. Why are they still filming? Well, The Borderlands has a pretty decent answer for that. 3 men who were sent by the Vatican to provide evidence of demonic occurrences in a remote church in rural Britain. I really don't want to spoil anything in this film because I sincerely urge you to watch it if you haven't, but in my opinion this is one of the best found footage horror films of recent times. It's equal parts The Wicker Man and equal parts The Exorcist, and it's an awesome display of British folk horror, an emerging subgenre that is really hitting the mark for this particular horror fan. Really guys, I can't say much more other than just watch this one because it's really good. Unfortunately folks, that's all we've got time for in today's video, although we have got a quick minute to read out some of your incredibly kind comments. Kansas and Mike Cooley said, "Jack, you are my favourite host in all of YouTube-dom. Love the series, I think Norman Bates should be next." Damn straight, Kansas and Mike Cooley, I'll see what I can do. And you're gonna make me tear up if you keep being that nice to me. Chaz Riley says, "That Black Flag shirt though, then one of those, well, Chaz, I guess all I can say to that is Henry Rollins all day." And finally, Kerry Ann said, "Jack's a top presenter, can tell he has an interest in the content he's delivering, awesome channel." Well, Kerry Ann, it's people like you that make it so awesome. Glad you're a fan. Thanks so much for stopping by guys, make sure to tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of horror. As always, I've been your host Jack Finch, you've been watching Top 5 Scary Videos, and until next time, you take it easy.